Mate, how are you? And welcome back to FightHype. You blew it up 2 weeks ago. And how you been, mate?
Well, I'm sure I'm going to blow it up again with this interview. But I'm good, man. I just finished a fantastic session. Now, we're putting in hard work. We're training so hard, man. I'm leaving no stone unturned. I'm all in for this fight. And like I said, I'm coming to take this kid's head off.
Mate, what I was going to say was, how did you feel, obviously, leading into the press conference? Did you sort of have a plan that you wanted to sort of stir that right up? Because from a digital point of view, it really looked like that you had a plan to go in there and ruffle some feathers.
No, that's just me. I don't script anything. You know, this, like I said, this kid's got what I want. He's got the belts, and I'm coming to get them belts. Not scripted. This is me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I said, fuck peace. This is war. And man, when we're on that press conference, that was just a warrior mentality of myself that everyone saw.
Well, mate, it was probably, we spoke about it a lot here from an Australian point of view. 8 weeks out, you know what I mean? We've done obviously a lot of views and that with a previous Australian fighters, but nothing like that. It takes two to tango. It digitally was for there about 2 weeks, was probably one of the biggest watched press conferences, and it wasn't even the week of the fight. It was massive. I want to get to that, mate. We'll talk about the Triller show first. How was the Triller show? Obviously, how
Look,
was
the Triller show was different, but it was good. You know, it was a whole different atmosphere. You know, you had celebrities, you had musicians, you had entertainers, you had legends of different sports. And look, I had ringside seats right there, watching all the action go down. Look, it was different, but that's what they want. They're bringing a different look into the boxing scene. And like Ryan Kavanagh said today, that the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight was done that way. The Kambosos Lopez fight is going to be done different. It's a real fight. It's an undisputed championship on the line. So they have different ways of doing things for different events. You know, they have different markets and obviously different ages coming into different obviously fights. So Kambosos Lopez fight is going to be a whole different look.
Yeah, completely different. And I did speak about that on the podcast we did with Ray Flores, obviously courtesy of Triller. He spoke about that as well. He said that, mark my words, that will have another, June the 5th, will have another different component to it. Mate, what was it like? I know you're used to mixing it with celebrities and that, but how was it with Snoop and all the guys over there? Obviously, Bieber and all that. How was that for you? You don't really care about that?
Yeah, it was cool, but you know, like I said, I feel that, you know, all this around me is owed to me, and I've been working, you know, my ass off for so many years, and I come from nothing to get to where I am today. You know, it's great meeting these guys and talking to them, but look, I'm doing my thing too, so they show a lot of respect to what I'm doing, and look, I'm headlining the show.
Mate, it's massive, and obviously we'll get to that in a second, but the Evander Holyfield thing, obviously a few people did know about that before it was released, and you know, certain people kept that quiet. Obviously, you knew about it before anyone with your fantastic manager and Peter Khan and that. Evander Holyfield versus Kevin McBride, just to show you the magnitude of this fight, they're actually your co-main to that fight. George, how does that make you feel, in all honesty?
Well, it's amazing. You know, Evander Holyfield is an absolute legend of the sport. I spent a fair bit of time with him over the course of the last couple of weeks. Actually, was on the private jet with him, you know, flying to Miami, and I just sat there and just listened to the guy, ask him different questions, and you know, it's amazing to have him now co-featuring, you know, my undisputed championship fight. So look, when you work hard and you put your all into it, and there'll be days where you feel like things aren't going to happen for you, but they do come true. When you put everything into it, eventually the good things happen. And look, there's more to come. There's a lot more to come.
Let's get to that press conference. Obviously, it was the press conference for Jake Paul versus Ben Askren, but we also had another press conference, which was obviously Kambosos and Lopez. Mate, let's get started into it. He took his shirt off. He tried to step up, and then you just sort of didn't want to step down. He did the old left shoulder roll. What did you think when he took his shirt off?
Look, I triggered him. I triggered him pretty fast. Look, mental warfare. and I'm the best when it comes to that. Not only I'm an elite fighter when it comes into the ring, but mentally I destroy guys. I'm already in the kid's head. I'm living rent-free in his head, and he decided to take his shirt off. Look, I got my shirt off. I'm relaxing after a training session. I'm in my home here in Miami. The kid took his shirt off with everyone at the press conference because I got under his skin straight away. And when you got cupping done, don't do it. Don't take your shirt off. You look like a pepperoni pizza. So just look, that just shows his immaturity. That just shows how quick I can get under his skin. And I got a lot more, trust me. There's so much more to come over these next 5 or so weeks, which he's going to be freaking out. He's never had to deal with anything like this before. Everyone's always been scared of him. Fuck him. I ain't scared of him.
Yeah. No,
and I saw it in his eyes. When I looked straight in his eyes when he came at me, I didn't take that step back. I stepped in position. I was in my fighting position, ready to go. I pushed him in my shoulder. He moved back 2-3 steps. Tried to come back again. Again, he stepped back again. So you're the undisputed champion of the world. He should be pushing me around, not the other way around.
The funny thing was too, Ray Flores, and we filter to do a digital feed sometimes. I actually go through the comments on our FightHype channel, and then a couple of people said, it's all set up. I'm like, no, this is not set up. Trust me. Most of the people real.
Definitely not. This is a fight. And like I said, there's no peace here. This is war. He's got what I want. He's got all them belts. Yeah, this is no act. And everyone that knows me personally knows how I am as a person, especially as an athlete. There's no act here. I'm coming to take everything off him. And I've sacrificed way too much, to be in the position I am, to play a game and try to act something. This is no script.
His father's been quite obviously behind the scenes when he's not in the spotlight himself. His father seems like he likes getting down, and we respect these other channels, you know what I mean? Some of them that do nearly as many views as us, but they speak, Lopez Sr. speaking about it's going to be over in 3 rounds and all this sort of stuff. They better hope it's over in 3 rounds. They better hope it is, because that's all they got. They're really 3-round fighters. They better hope it's 3 rounds, because I'll tell you, once it goes past 4, he's a dead man. I'll say he's a dead boy. Yeah. Because, George, he was saying something in the front there, wasn't he, in the press conference?
Well, look, I was putting on his son. The undisputed champion of the world, I'm putting on him. The Aussie guy who's come over, who's got no one here. I got no one behind me. I'm here, a lone warrior, a lone soldier. And I'm turning that press conference into mine. I'm making the kid go crazy. And obviously his dad had to say a little remark. And straight away I put him into place as well. Told him literally he ain't going to do nothing. And I told him he's going to be an embarrassment and a joke. And he went quiet real quick.
You kept calling him boy. What was that? What was that? Because he's obviously a lot younger. What was that all about?
That's him. He's a boy. He's a kid. The way he acts. You can see the way he dresses. Kid's got no class. And, he's a boy. And when we come to this fight, I'm going to expose him. He's a fraud. That's what he is.
How much has changed, George? Because obviously 2.5 years ago, you obviously hung out with this young kid when he was obviously a lot younger, and you got a photo with him, and you said to him, and I'll back you on this. I remember.
No, he got a photo with me. He got a photo with me. We never hanged out. We were just in the same place at the same time, and literally they pretty much introduced both of us at the same time, and the photo was taken. Like I said, when that photo was put out there, I never posted it. It was put out there by certain media people, and I retweeted and said future mega fight, because I had that vibe from that moment. I knew that I was going to fight this kid, just like he knew he was going to fight Lomachenko, and he's going to beat Lomachenko. I knew from 2019 when we took it in June. And you know what? Funny enough, I believe the photo was taken around the same time we were going to fight, between that June 5th period, anywhere around there. It was around that same period. So literally 2 years later, I predicted it. Future mega fight. And here we are.
Summertime. Mate, you've spoken about, obviously, calling him boy and that. How do you think he came out of that press conference knowing, obviously, it was 8 weeks then. Now we're coming down to 6.5 weeks. How do you think he'll sort of strategize now? He'll know that, shit, this kid is, this guy, Kambosos, is really coming to bring it. Do you think you're probably 1 or 2-0 up after that press conference?
No one knows what happened the day after. No one knows what happened at the fight. We went at it again, and the kid looked away again. I tell you,
really?
I am under his skin. I am up 5-0, 6-0. I've made the kid lost his mind. He's losing his mind because he's never had this before. I mean, he said when we faced off, we went eye to eye, and he looked away. The undisputed champion looked away because he saw a real fighter, a real warrior coming at him. He said, "I'll give you that one." That's what he said. "I'll give you that one, but you ain't gonna get another one." You know what I turned around and said? "I'm gonna get every single one, and I'm taking all your belts." The next day we went at it again, face to face, and guess what? He looked away again. Like I said, I'm in this kid's head, but at the end of the day, that only means one certain thing. I'm coming to fight. I'm coming to win these belts. Like I said, I've sacrificed too much to be in this position to let it slip.
Yeah. You spoke also, George, about his previous trainer. What's actually happened there? I understand that he's got rid of an ex-trainer. Is that right?
Yeah, Joey Gamache, man, he done so much for him. He's the guy that came up with all the game plans. Yeah. He's the guy that set up everything for camps for him. You know, for their wins against Comer, for their wins against Nakatani, for his biggest win in Lomachenko. He done it all. He's really the trainer of the year. But when you reach a certain, level and your ego gets too big, all of a sudden you forget about the people that helped you get there. And he's gone. He ain't there no more. So that shows the class that they have. And there is no class. There's no loyalty there. No loyalty to Lopez. And look, they brought in a defensive coach. They want to talk about this being an easy fight, 3 rounds, but they bring in a defensive coach. Which one is it? Yeah. Now you bring in Rubio, who used to bring me my sparring partners here in Miami, so I can beat them up. So which one is it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was quite. I was sort of like, whoa, shivers to Betsy. We didn't know about that, obviously, and I was like, geez,
look, there's plenty more that I know. I know so much, man. There is a lot of inside facts that I know, and bit by bit, maybe every week, I'll release a little bit. I'll release a little bit more. It ain't got nothing on me because I'm the truth here. I'm real as it come. I'm loyal to my team. I'm loyal to the people around me. Whatever he's got, he ain't got shit. I got a lot.
I spoke to your trainer the other day via Instagram, and we'll get to Xander in a second, but he said George's sparring for this camp has been absolutely amazing, Nick. You're sparring some big guys, some fast guys, some transition guys, both, all the things. George, how's that been, and what can you tell us about that?
Look, very, very good sparring. I'm on point, man. I'm sharper than ever. I'm moving great, fast, strong. I brought in some big guys.
Yeah.
And they can't believe how hard I'm hitting. They can't believe how fast I am.
Yeah, I've heard.
As soon as they realised, I said, man, you're going to destroy Lopez. Because they don't understand. They think this is an easy fight. This is far from an easy fight. I am putting everything into this. I've spent a lot of money already on my camp. We're not talking, a couple $1,000s. We're talking big money here on my camp. More money than your top guys in Australia make. I'm spending on my camp.
Yeah.
This is no joke. If this was a gimmick and if this was a half-assed, I'd stay in Australia. I'd use guys there. I'd come over the last week, take my check, see you later.
Nah, I don't want.
I'm here. 10 weeks out, I'm here. I'm preparing. I'm by myself. There's no one here. There's no kids running around. I speak to them on FaceTime every day. My father's going to come over now on Thursday with Mick Akaway as well. And the team just gets even stronger.
George, do you feel, and I actually have said this to some people that think they know boxing and some that do know boxing, George, is this an advantage for you in Miami? Because I think it is for a few reasons. One, you don't have to fly, obviously, from Miami across to London like you did against Selby. Okay, when you did Mickey Bay, the 2.5-hour flight. George Kambosos says, you are Miami. You look Miami. Your whole style is Miami. You've been over there off and on for 3.5 years under the great sweating box gym. George, is that an advantage for you?
Look, it's beautiful. I don't have to travel anywhere. I'll get in the car and head down to the hotel, wherever they're going to have it situated. Yeah. And this is home. This is my second home, so I'm comfortable. I'm already in the time zone. Yeah. They're in Vegas, so they're already minus 3 hours behind. Yeah. So when he talks all this game of, I'm up at 2:30 in the morning training, I'm already training when you're sleeping. You know,
Yeah.
and the only reason he was up at 2:30 training is because when he was in Atlanta at the press conference, he didn't do one session. He didn't train. I trained 10 times. I had my coach. We done so many boxing sessions. We done everything. That's the fight. That's the difference. Now, a lot of things that people see on Instagram are make believe. They just for show, but the insiders know exactly what's going on. I finished the Jake Paul fight and I went straight to the gym. It's 2:00 in the morning, so I'm trying to get 2 as well. And add all the other sessions. But away from that, Miami, beautiful. You know, the fights here, fantastic. I got a lot of support here as well. Like I said, this has become my second home, and you know, advantage or not, you know, it is what it is. Doesn't matter. Like I said, doesn't matter where I fight. You know, I'll travel anywhere to fight. I'm a warrior. I'm the only guy in Australia doing it back to back. And look, back to back with former champion, undisputed champion. What are they gonna say? What are they gonna say now when I beat this kid? What, he didn't take me serious? What, he outgrew the weight? What are they gonna say?
George,
nothing.
Do you really? And I shouldn't say this, but I will. Do you really care what people think here, George?
To be honest, I don't give a fuck. You know, it's Australia, and they gotta realise that Australia is not the mecca of boxing. For some reason, all these so-called people that think they know boxing, which actually don't know a thing about boxing, never even put on a pair of hand wraps. We'd have to look on YouTube to find out how to put on a pair of hand wraps. Australia's not the mecca of boxing. The mecca of boxing is here, and I'm headlining a stadium fight here. Man, I'm fighting the undisputed champion. I got a legend as the co-feature. I got the whole globe talking about it. Everyone in America's talking about it. I go down to the shops and people recognizing me. But why is the mainstream media not supporting me in Australia? Why have I not seen hardly anything? 5.5 weeks out. You know why? Because I ain't paying them. That's the difference. They're not on my payroll. You know what? I ain't gonna pay them because I had the chance. I had money ready for them, but again, they put me to the side. You know what? Fuck them all. They ain't getting nothing from me. They want to support me, so be it. They won't get a thing from me. I will speak to the people like yourselves. I will speak to the guys coming up, doing it the hard way.
Well, the thing is that, and not trying to get pro fight hype here, but that was one of the things how our channel started, George, many years ago. Obviously with Floyd, obviously was a big advocate for it. And we talk about pure boxing. We cover all different fighters, from Terry Nicholas to David Chan, all the way up to freaking Tyson Fury and back to George Kambosos. It's a different level of reporting. Getting back to that with Evander Holyfield, obviously, you know, you and your father would have watched Evander fight. Mate, that's going to be incredible that night. How do you block that out as well? I know you've got a job to do, but I understand that you really respect Evander and loved him as a fighter.
Look, tunnel vision. I'm focused on my job.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's fighting on the card. When it gets to me being at that arena, I'm focused on my job, my mission. Same as my last fight. You know, Usyk and Chisora, great fight.
Yeah.
They were obviously the headline. I was a great feature. I didn't care about that fight. You know what I mean? If I wasn't fighting on the card, yeah, I'd watch the fight. But, you know, I'm focused on my job. But it's great for the platform. It's great for people that are going to tune in and watch. They're going to watch that fight, and obviously they're going to tune into the main event as well. So more eyes on the sport. How
was the musical component, George? Because we spoke to Ray about that. Obviously, you know, I mean, I'm not a Bieber fan, but I don't mind Ice Cube and a few of the rap. Was it like a concert in there for Jake Paul, Ben Askren?
Yeah, it was. It was unbelievable. It was just a whole different vibe. You know, you're going from one fight, then all of a sudden Justin Bieber's performing, you know, in a different section. So you're getting up to watch him, and you know, it's just, like I said, it brings more eyes to the sport. And then how can it be a bad thing when more eyes are getting involved in the sport and young kids are seeing this and saying, well, hey, I want to be a fighter. I want to do this. You don't know which young kid that are watching because they tune in to see Justin Bieber, and all of a sudden they fall in love with boxing and say, well, I want to do this. That kid could be a future, you know, legendary fighter.
Yeah.
That's how it all starts. That's how it starts, because they tune into someone else and all of a sudden they fall in love with the sport. I didn't start boxing because, you know, I knew about boxing. I started boxing because I was playing in park footy, rugby league, and I was overweight. And all of a sudden, I fell into boxing, and literally within the first week, I fell in love with it. So this is me. This is what I want to do. So many fighters fall in love with it. They're not pushed. If you're pushed into it, I think you know, a lot of them don't get there. But if you fall in love with the sport, like I am, like I did very early in literally the first week of going into the gym, that's the difference right there. And like I said, we don't know which young kid, saw the fights, last week,
Yeah,
2
true.
weeks ago now.
Good point.
Fall in love with the sport.
That's a really good point. I actually a lot of people probably don't look like that, but when you're hitting such big numbers, you're hitting different core of audiences. Mate, how obviously now you've got the Kambosos Army is about to fly in some more members of your team, which will be absolutely fantastic. Strategically, you love the first 3 to 4 weeks to yourself. You go into that tunnel vision. It'll be more like that from week 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 up to the fight now with the team. Just some extra eyes coming in.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's extra eyes and people that have been around me for a long time anyway. So people that know me. Like I said, on this side, there's no egos. We are loyal. We have a great team. And the most important thing is I built that team, the people around it. Obviously, me and my father, we've been at this for countless years, before anything, before our name was even known. But, like I said, it brings extra eyes into it. And, we're all coming for one job, to win this fight.
Fantastic. Mate, I'm going to let you go because you got, a bit of a massage tonight or a bit of a warm-down session and then a massive day again tomorrow. Any last shout-outs? Mate, we watched Terry Nicholas the other week. Shout-out to Terry. Obviously, he had a tough fight.
Look, Terry, it was a close fight. I believe it was 3-3 with Terry's knockdown as well, which would have gave Terry the edge. But again, when you fight on someone else's home ground, you're going to get that. But like I said to Terry, he took a chance. He stepped up to the plate. No one wanted to fight Terry. No one wanted to fight Victor Nagby. They both stepped up. And it's better to have a loss early in your career than to pad records and fight cherry-picked opponents and international cab drivers for your first 10, 15 fights and then obviously get exposed. Terry will come back a lot better fighter from this. He learned a lot in that fight. He had him caught. He had him hurt. He dropped him. He had him hurt in round 5 as well. I believe a couple small changes, he would have got rid of him. But let them have their battle win. Let them have their victory of their battle. But I promise that we're going to win the war. Whatever it costs, I'll make sure that we get Nagby end of this year.
No worries. Another one, George, I want to touch on. He's trained with you. He's like family to you at the Sweating Box Gym there. Obviously, Xander Yates extending his record to 8-0, 8 years of age, future welterweight, I believe, world champion. Mate, did you get, obviously it was down at Kissimmee, which is not far from where you are, but did you get a chance to watch that card from Top Rank?
Yeah, I did watch the fights. I did think about going down there. I was actually looking forward to go catch up with Bob Arum. But I thought, you know what, I'd rather just chill out. I'd finished, a massive 10K run and then made it in time to watch it on ESPN Plus. But look, Xander is a future champion. Very mature for his age, he's getting better and better. That was supposed to be a step-up fight, and he took the guy out in literally less than a minute and a half. But he's got a very bright future, and he trains hard. It's great to see his development.
Yeah, no, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And for those who don't know, it was on a lot earlier in the night. I'm sure Peter Khan and the team will have him coming up a little bit higher in the cards and maybe being the third last fight because he's just one. He's so exciting to look at. He looks very different, Xander, and he's also an unbelievable prospect and a very big hit.
It's a process. And he's got a very good team around him, very smart people around him, from the management to the coaches, and obviously Top Rank as well. They know what they're doing with him. Again, at 18 years of age, they're going to put him in the right position, and they don't have to have him too late in the fights. Get his job done and build a name, and all of a sudden that experience will be there, and then I'll push him up to a co-main or eventually headlining his own shows. The kid is exciting. He's a big boy for 18. I don't know how much longer he's going to be at 147, but he's going to be a problem at 147, 154, and just an exciting fighter and a good work ethic as well. No
worries, mate. Well, good to chat to you, George. Obviously live here from Miami, Florida. obviously it's later at night for you, mate. Any special shout-outs for you, mate, before you jump off? Because we do have we're going to run this obviously through our FightHype, but we'll do a little bit through Noon Boy. But mate, any last shout?
Look, man, there's just shout out to everyone supporting me, all the love, all the support. I feel it. There's the support in Australia is huge. With or without the mainstream media, my social media is so big right now. I am mainstream media. All I got to do is put one post out there, and it gets bigger than what mainstream media. So I appreciate everyone's love, support. There's so many messages, comments. Very hard to get back to everybody, but I can definitely feel it. And June 5th, Lopez, you said in my eyes, I'm coming for you, boy.
No worries. All right, brother. Well, we'll take care, and we'll probably catch up with you in a couple of weeks. And then we've also got some stuff lined up where you probably will see some George Kambosos ferocious training. And, mate, we'd like to thank you so much for your time today, brother.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, guys, and thanks for everyone supporting me.
Thanks, George.